Welcome to my goal video project. My name is Max DePady and I am a senior at Stewart Hall High School. In Paris in 1801, St. Madeleine Sophie Barat founded the RSCJ in order to deliver education to young women and girls. Barat's beliefs were based upon religious principles of the Catholic Church. The Society of the Religious of the Sacred Heart of Jesus' motto was, and still is, Cor unum et anima una in corde Jesu, which translates to one heart and one mind in the heart of Jesus. A woman named St. Rose Philippine Duchesne, who lived from 1769 to 1852, brought the teachings from the RSCJ to the Midwestern United States in 1818. Stewart Hall High School, situated on the corner of Pine and Octavia Street in San Francisco, California, is named after another very influential sister named Janet Erskine Stewart. Being part of the network of schools of the Sacred Heart, Stewart Hall opened its gates in the year 2000 and is still open to this day.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a test. This is the real deal. And I don't want to panic you, but I want to make sure that you understand that there's a major hurricane that is in the Gulf of Mexico.
Look at this storm. I mean, just...
It could be devastating. Where are these people going to go?
Hurricane force winds extend 100 miles from the center of this storm. Tropical storm force winds extending 205 miles from the storm. New Orleans, you're going to start to feel the effects of the storm, tropical storm-wise, if you haven't already.
According to Byron, he says, "I like the leads to something implication of principle, while acknowledging that values, once internalized, will prompt people to act consistently with what they cherish and consider to be valuable." At 9:07 a.m., February 13th, 2016, my class and I left from San Francisco to New Orleans to help with the cleanup. Even to this day, New Orleans is still on the road to recovery from Hurricane Katrina. In relation to the 5 goals and criteria of the Sacred Heart school system, I'll be focusing on Goal 3, which states, "Schools of the Sacred Heart commit themselves to educate to a social awareness which impels to action." And under that goal, I'll be focusing on Criteria 2. The school offers all of its members opportunities for direct service and advocacy and instills a lifelong commitment to service. When arriving in New Orleans, we drove down to the Lower Ninth Ward, where arguably the worst damage was done by Katrina. We checked out the levee and where it broke, we saw the houses that still had water lines on them, and we also helped out at our very first service site. What do you get when you have plenty of water, vacant lots with fertile soil, hard workers, and our very own Mr. Roos? You get Farming New Orleans. After loading the truck up with a multitude of citrus trees and garden plants, we drove back to the Lower Ninth Ward to put in some work at a lot of land where a house had once stood. After our hard work, literally right across the street there was a greenhouse which held more vegetation for the local people. This showed my peers and I that there was more than just Mr. Roos helping to resurrect the dying community of the Lower Ninth. After working with Mr. Roos for Farming New Orleans, we drove down the street to meet Dave, the man in charge of another similar organization named Capstone New Orleans. Capstone is a small nonprofit that takes previously blighted or vacant lots in the Lower Ninth Ward and develops them into productive gardens and orchards. Located in part of a food desert, Capstone grows and provides food at no cost to those who need it. They also assist others in starting their own gardens or allowing others to garden on their lots as they have space available. All in all, Mr. Roos is not alone in his efforts, and the more people willing to help these communities, the better. At our second service site, we worked alongside Greenlight New Orleans, which invests energy in people by assisting residents in person, one household at a time. We helped install energy-efficient light bulbs to demonstrate that a mass movement of individual actions creates a significant impact on the environment and community. During our service, we helped out a resident who really left a mark on me and my peers, Miss Williams. She opened up her home and made us feel totally like family. At our third service site, we worked with an organization named Youth Rebuilding New Orleans. As you can see here, we spent the day giving this house a new paint job, and later we built a doghouse for a neighbor. Youth Rebuilding New Orleans engages local youth in the betterment of the New Orleans community. Volunteers help reduce blight by rebuilding distressed and foreclosed homes. The finished homes are sold to teachers to stabilize neighborhoods and also to positively impact the education system. During my time in New Orleans, it was easy to see that at the end of the day, all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed with reason and conscience and should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood.